out on the Mariners supporters, blows his whistle. George Moncur steps up and scores! Bottom corner of the net, the goalkeeper was very close, and it's George. He lets in a low cross, and a spin turn in, and Leyton Orient are back on level terms. He'll come to James, he shoots! Oh, and a goal from Tom James! That was a volley, and that was right. It's a low cross, it's an inviting cross, and it's been turned in by Theo Archibald, and he celebrates in front of the travelling faithful.
Good evening and welcome to Orient Live. Now, before we go any further this evening, we'd like to take a moment to remember a true Orient legend. The club were really saddened to hear of the passing of the record appearance holder Peter Allen, who made 490 appearances for the club and passed away yesterday, aged 76. And we'd like to extend our well wishes and condolences to all friends and family and everyone who knew Peter. And now for tonight's fixture, the O's are back on the road again and looking to build on Saturday's win over AFC Wimbledon. And it's another tough opposition, although they're low in the league. We lost here last time out in the FA Cup already this season. The O's are facing Crewe, Alexandra, and I'm delighted to be joined here in the Orient Live studio by two Orient legends, Jabbo Ibrahim and Joe Widdowson. And boys, as I said, we've had our blip hopefully, and today is a really good opportunity to continue a winning run, or start a winning run even.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're happy to see the back of December and January, and got the month off to a great start on Saturday with a really good win. There's plenty of fixtures this month, so hopefully we can keep the ball rolling into tonight and pick up another valuable win tonight away at Crewe.
Don't want to create any hoodoo or anything, but as you say, that we've lost there already this season. As a player, is that in your minds at all? Obviously, they're 18th in the table, so not on paper a tough test, but they've beaten us once already.
Yeah, I mean, it can play into your mind. I mean, sometimes a cup game, it's just here or there. Sometimes you take your eye off the prize slightly, but in the back of your mind, they've done us before. It gives you a bit more momentum going into the game, and you kind of want to get one on them.
Well, before we get into the starting lineup for this afternoon's game, we caught up with Richie pitchside at Crewe Alexandra, and he's talking to Luke Lambourne.
Gaffer, here at Crewe Alexandra tonight, and a good time to pick up a bit of momentum on the back of Saturday's win.
Yeah, positive performance on Saturday, really good team performance, energetic, front-footed, and we want to continue that tonight. So it's a good opportunity for us. Not many games tonight, so a real good opportunity.
A couple of changes tonight. Firstly, Rob Hunt, obviously forced off injured and not in the team tonight. Tom James comes in, and a chance for, I guess, Jane Sweeney again on that left-hand side. Yeah,
Jane done really well when he was on. He just forced my hand in terms of the... he could have been but for a second time, and it put me in a position where I had to bring him off. In terms of Hunt, he done really well for the goal. I don't know if people seen it, but as he just tried to let it go for Monks' goal, then he's been pushed into the back of the net and he's pulled his groin. So that's a big blow for us. But in terms of Tom James, very similar players, very technically gifted. So yeah, there's no worries in terms of replacement. It's just a blow because Hunt is a good player.
You've got a time frame on Rob Hunt?
Yeah, 4 weeks.
Okay, on to your second change of the night was Craig Clay in for Jordan Lydon. I think Craig obviously in his last couple of games come on and done very well. Yeah,
he's been unfortunate, but Jordan's come in and this would be his second game in a short space of time after 11 months out. I thought he was great at times on Saturday. You can still see that he's trying to find his legs. So it's a good opportunity for Craig. He deserves opportunity. So hopefully he'll play better than when he played here last time, and he won't get sent off. So I've rewarded him with his performance. It's an opportunity to put that behind him and obviously get a good performance behind him.
You can see the pitch behind you is looking a little bit worse for wear, especially on this near touchline. Can that have a bit of an impact on the game?
We don't use it as an excuse. We might have to change a little bit the way that we play, because it's obviously visually not great. I've just walked on it. It's quite firm. It's not. Sometimes you get sand on pitch and it can be a bit of a dead pitch, which can kind of help. It makes people's touch a little bit easier, but this is going to be bouncy. So no mistakes. Don't let the ball bounce, and put it in areas and feed off that.
Just finally, Crewe not on the best of runs, lost 3-0 here against Grimsby on the weekend. What are we expecting out of this game and Crewe in particular?
I'm not bothered. It doesn't matter. Everybody says they're in form, they're on form. It doesn't matter. If you don't do the basics right, then in this league you can come unstuck. And we've done the basics well on Saturday. and that gives us a really good foundation to work from. And so if you don't do the basics here tonight with this pitch that we've got, then whoever doesn't do that and lets ball bounces or makes wrong decisions, and then it can be a tough game. So first and foremost, we need to make sure our decision making is good.
Well, they've covered a lot of the ground there, but just to make sure, let's make sure we take a look at the starting lineup in full. And as we've already touched, there's been a few changes for the O's this evening for multiple reasons, but starting in goal, as always, is number 22, Lawrence Vigouroux. Coming back into the side is number 2, Tom James. Also starting after his substitute appearance on Saturday is number 8, Craig Clay. Number 11, Theo Archibald will be starting out wide this evening. And hoping to get back in amongst the goals again is number 14, George Moncur. He was special on Saturday's number 15, Idris El Mazouni. Wearing the armband in Darren Prattley's absence is number 19, Omar Beckles. Leading the line is number 23, Charlie Kelman. Also looking to continue his good performances is number 24, Jaden Sweeney. Number 34, Kieran Sadlier also starts in the attacking midfield, with number 43, Ed Turns, partnering Omar Beckles at the back. And on the bench for the O's is Shadrach Oji, Adam Thompson, Ruel Sotiriou, Aaron Drinan, Jordan Lydon, Darren Prattley and Reece Byrne. So there is how the O's will be lining up this evening, and Richie's touched on a lot of it there already, but let's start at the back and move forward, because obviously the O's have been so solid at home defensively, especially having, I think, only conceded 2 or 3 goals all season. Hopefully with the performance Ed Turns gave on Saturday, they can continue that onto the road this evening.
Yeah, hopefully so. I mean, the beauty of Orient so far this season is that they've managed to keep the majority of the defenders, you know, knowing each other's rhythm, and it's been just so consistently good. And when there's been sort of a couple of injuries and a few changes, it can break that rhythm up. So hopefully now with Turner's performance on the weekend, they can build some momentum and get that structure going.
Because he came in a tough period where Beckles and Haps were both out, and it was tough for him, his first real taste of men's football, but now he's kind of finding his feet. McCart's injured, he's got another chance, so it could be a really good opportunity for him. Yeah,
definitely. I think we know he's got a good pedigree, got a good background and good upbringing, and he's a very talented footballer. Obviously, it's hard when you're a young, inexperienced centre half to get opportunities, because as talented as he is, he just doesn't have that know-how yet to perform at this level in the Football League, in League Two. But you only get that through experience and through opportunities, and he's found himself with one. He's managed to get a chance in the team and perform well on Saturday, and it's just about continuing that level of performance for him now, build his confidence and hopefully keep his place in the team. He might not have that know-how at the moment, but it feels like that's come on even in the last couple of games that he has played, and you've got to give some credit to Omar Beckles for that as well. Since his return to the side, he's just so assured. So he's just a leader, isn't he? Yeah, 100%. I mean, especially when he started one of his first early games turns, he's getting used to the pace of men's football. Sometimes in 23s football at times you could, you feel you've got a bit more time on the ball and stuff like that, but all of a sudden now he's sharper, he's moving the ball. You had Omar Beckles alongside him now, giving him information. He looked a much better player and much more assured, and hopefully continues that. And let's look at the fullbacks as well. Rob Hunt being injured is a bit of a blow, but we seem to have such a versatile squad that can come in and play in different positions, and today or tonight even, it's Tom James and Jaden Sweeney. Let's start with Jaden, obviously, because he's someone who doesn't get many chances, but when he does, he really takes them. He does, and I think you got to give massive credit to him, because he's played second fiddle, third fiddle, probably for the most part of the season. But when he comes in, he's reliable. He performs to a good level, and he's dependable. And it's disappointing that Rob Hunt's injured, but I don't think we're any weaker in that sense. Tom James comes back in and starts, and we know the quality he brings, and he'll bring that experience and know-how as well. And then Jaden, it's a tough fixture. Like away from home midweek, it's a different feel to home games on a Saturday. But Richie's obviously got a lot of trust in him. He did well on the weekend, and like Ed Turns, hopefully he can continue his form tonight as well. And I was going to say, because obviously at home we're so good defensively, but a Tuesday night under the lights in Crewe, when you've got Ed Turns and Jaden Sweeney playing on that left side, that is a fairly inexperienced pairing, and you think maybe Crewe might be looking at that. Yeah, potentially. I mean, like I said, it is very different. Like away from home, Tuesday night, obviously Crewe will be wanting to, kind of really put pressure on, And they might potentially see that as a weakness. You know, they'll be faced with probably different challenges than they were, you know, on the weekend. And between the two of them, it will be about how they're going to work those out and how they're going to, you know, get on top of Crewe. You know, whether it's like defending the far post, you know, balls in behind, they're going to have to figure it out. But that's all part of their learning. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, alongside, you know, the likes of Lawrence, likes of Tom James, Omar, you know, they've got good leaders and good experience alongside them to help them through.
I was going to pick up on those three you mentioned there in Tom James, Lawrence, Vigor and Beckles, because not only the experience, the quality is oozing out of those three.
Definitely, they've been tremendous all season, you know, and they've just got a fluidity there, and hopefully with Sweens and Turns coming in there, they can just build upon that and then get a solid foundation that we've seen all throughout the season.
And a good defence, as Richie says, as everyone in the team says, it starts from attack and it starts from the front, and the midfield is always key. Now again, it's another player who comes in Craig Clay, and he's probably partnering Idris El Mazouni in those defensive midfield roles, and it's important for them tonight to have a big game and protect that defence too. Yeah,
100%. I mean, Clay's had the run he would have enjoyed or he would have liked, and when he's come on, he's tried his best, and now he's got another opportunity to secure a spot whilst a couple of people are out injured, and Masouni played well again the weekend, so he's finding his form. Hopefully they can give a solid structured performance today.
His partner in that midfield as well, with Idris El Mazouni, he was a loss after getting sent off against Stevenage, but maybe he's come back with a little bit fresher, a little bit sparked on. Jordan Lyden's obviously come in and started a couple of games, maybe adding that competition, but if Saturday's performance is anything to go by, then the Idris we all know and love is back and firing.
Yeah, of course. And I think, you know, we talk about learning the likes of Sweeney and Ed Turns, and it's the same for Idris. You know, he's such a young player. I think, you know, because he's been so impressive throughout the season, we often forget just how young he is. And, you know, he's literally just he's a baby in in football league terms, in you know, experience and games. And the Stevenage game will have been a massive learning curve for him. I'm sure, you know, Richie and the staff will have pulled him aside and said, look, you know, sometimes you just got to rein it in. You know, we love your enthusiasm, and, you know, you want to get on the ball and you want to be all action and affect the game, but it's also like discipline's a massive part of playing in midfield. You know what I mean? Knowing when you can go and make tackles, when you have to just be a little bit more cautious. So yeah, Idris is learning all the time, but he made a brilliant return to the team on the weekend. And yeah, you know, he's a sort of player that, you know, he really makes the team tick, and he's good to have in the side.
Discipline's an interesting one there, because as Richie mentioned in his interview, Craig Clay was sent off here in that FA Cup fixture. That might be in the back of his mind. Now, discipline was a bit of an issue in the early part of 2023. Hopefully, we've all learned from that. It's not just Idris, hopefully, not us, but hopefully the players have all learned from that, and Craig especially will, and they can all keep their heads, and hopefully we won't see any more suspensions.
You hope so, we hope so. I mean, again, these players play with a bite, with an intent, when they're at their best, there's an intensity about them, there's a bite within them. So sometimes you don't want to take that away from them by saying, be overly cautious, don't muck in too much either. So you don't really change their game, but hopefully they'll just box a bit clever, suss the referee as well, see what he's like, if he's a card happy sort of referee, and take it from there.
Paul Smith's obviously still missing, which is a massive blow, but when you need magic, you look to someone in the team, and on Saturday that was George Moncur. And stuff has been said from fans and even his coaching about how he maybe needs to get up to speed after some setbacks, but again, if Saturday was anything to go by, he looks back up to speed.
Yeah, delighted for him as well, because I think, you know, with George, he's just clearly such a talented player. You know, he's got wonderful ability. He's a really popular lad amongst the players from what I hear, and you know, he's a sort of player that we've said that, haven't we, so many times this season, like watching him, like we just want him to affect the game more, you know, and really like showcase his talents and you know, bring his skills to the party, and he did that on the weekend. And you know, hopefully now, you know, that will really boost his confidence, and he'll go into the game tonight like, you know, full of energy and wanting to make an impact again.
We'll see his goal in a second, but Jav, as we're seeing here, it's the link-up play, it's the movement that we hadn't been seeing in recent weeks, but it's that quick movement of the ball, and that's what he brings to this team. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, he played it much more tenacious, but we've had a bite in his game. You know, he'll play, then he wants it back again. Sometimes, you know, he could have got the ball back and continued, but he has so much enthusiasm, so much endeavour, so much industry in his game, and it's good to see, because I know he's a top player, and he could make such more of an influence in this team than he has so far. But sometimes when you get, I mean, look at this goal now. He drives. You know, before he might have looked to have passed that, but he's cut in, had a shot, and he got his reward, and hopefully that will boost his confidence.
I'm sure it has done, and you need that creativity. And Kieran Sadley has obviously come in, but goals had looked a little bit dry. But how important is it to have a player in the team like this on their game that can do these balls and make these moves and really make things tick?
Yeah, massive. Because you know, I think when you know that you've got someone that has like a different kind of skill set, that possesses that different quality. You know, and you know they're on form, and you know they're confident.
Showing there that he's pretty trim as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, not sure about that, but no, but you like to have these sort of like these mavericks in the side, you know. And when they're on song, you look for them. You want to feed them the ball. You want them confident. You know, you want them trying their stuff, being expressive, getting shots. Do you know what I mean? Taking people on, and you know, they can really help you lift the team. I think, you know, you look at the two behind him, the likes of Idris and Craig. There's just like plenty of tenacity there. You know, both of them will work hard, but they don't have that little bit of stardust that Monks has, you know. And I think, you know, we just want to see him bring it to the party more, like he did on the weekend, you know, and really affect the game.
And the goals had been a little bit dry, but Moncur had his wisdom tooth and an illness. We've obviously lost Paul Smith for periods, lost Dryan, and it's been a bit in and out. And now Kieran Sadley has come in. How important is it as an attacker to know each other's games and know each other's movements and to actually train with each other and be on the same wavelength?
Yeah, definitely. It's massively important because it's just the little looks that you give each other. You know, sometimes it's that relationship, especially with the winger and as a striker, you know when he's driving with that ball, at that moment when he looks at you and he puts his head down, he's going to whip it, and you just know when to make your movement and when to do it. And you need to build those relationships. So the more people are playing consistently, the more you can build those relationships and make those runs. And when you've got the likes of Monks now showing that prowess that he did at the weekend, driving at people, forcing the opposition to come out of their pockets, they can slip balls through or create more chances, hopefully, for the attackers.
Well, the Orient boys were making their appreciation known to those travelling fans who've made the long trip on this Tuesday evening. And of course, don't forget, if you weren't able to make it tonight, well, you're watching here, that's why. And if you're watching live on our YouTube stream, then don't forget, it's available for all fans worldwide to stream here on Orient Live. So just head over to the website that is on screen now to pick up your match pass to watch along with us right here. But now, let's take a look at the home side, Crewe Alexandra, who are standing in the way between Orient and 3 points this evening. So in goal for Crewe is number 1, David Richards. We have number 3, Rio Adebisi. Number 5, Rod McDonald. Their captain, number 6, Luke Offord. Number 11, Daniel Ajayi. Number 16, Charlie Colkett. Number 18, Ryan Finnegan. Number 20, Elliot Nevitt. Number 21, Tariq Uakwi. Number 32, David Amu. And number 33, Sean Robertson. And on the bench for Crewe Alexandra is James Beadle, Connor Thomas, Callum Ainley, Regan Griffiths, Connor O'Riordan, Lachlan Brook and Basala Sambu. So that is how the home side are lining up this evening. And you looked at their team from Saturday in that 3-0 defeat, Jabbo, and you noticed that they've changed the centre-back pairing. That might not be a good thing for the O's.
Yeah, I was hoping that they wouldn't, to be fair, after watching some of their game over the weekend, and I was hoping that the two centre-halves would have still be playing. But I mean, the goals that Grimsby scored, when you were going at them, the movement of their defenders, they couldn't really work their feet. They're very stiff and rigid. So it would have been good for the way the Monks has been playing of recent. It would have been great for them to expose that, but you know, they've read the script and dropped them.
And coming off the back of that 3-0 defeat, they'll be looking to put things right as well, and they will probably have had a couple of days on the training pitch looking where things went wrong, and they'll be looking to bounce back tonight.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think it could go one or two ways. You know, either they're still, you know, they're still struggling confidence-wise and licking their wounds, or they come out, you know, really wanting to improve from the weekend and you know, have a go tonight. So yeah, it could, you know, we're not sure what we're going to see from Crewe tonight. You know, they're not doing great in the league, not been in great form, but you know, in front of their own fans after a disappointing result on the weekend, they'll be wanting to put that right, I'm sure. Absolutely.
And they might be sitting 18th in the table, but they've got, I think, 4 games out of hand in some teams around them. We've obviously played them in the FA Cup and had their fixture in the next round would have been postponed. We had our other December fixture postponed, all other weather issues. It's building up for them, and it might be a bit of a false position in the league at the moment.
I mean, it can be, but the worst thing is when you've got a lot of games in hand, but your form's not great. you can't sometimes capitalise on those games. So suddenly a game comes in thick and fast, you're not confident. A game comes in mentally, you're just like, oh, another game, we don't feel good. And you can get slapped, and then hopefully we can slap them today, and you know, take advantage of that, because they lost 3-0 at home. The confidence is going to be a bit low. They think, right, it's another game in hand for us. Can we go again? You know, we start fast and hard. You know, we'll put them on the back foot straight away. So I think it can definitely work in our favour today.
And they, as we've said it already, but they did manage to beat us in that FA Cup fixture. Craig Clay sent off. That'll be in their minds as well. We're coming to them as top of the league. They're going to be thinking that this is another scalp to claim.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, to be honest, they're more likely to be thinking about the fact that Orient are sitting top of the league rather than what happened in the FA Cup. You know, that's been and gone now. And you know, the fact that, you know, we managed to pick up a good 3 points on the weekend, and they had a really disappointing day. You know, that will be more concern to them. So, you know, they'll be fully aware of the threats that Orient can pose to, you know, to them tonight. You know, the likes of Moncur and the form he's in. You know, Theo. There's plenty of them to worry about. So, yeah, you know, just hopefully we can catch them on another off night. And yeah, hopefully show a bit more discipline than we did in that FA Cup game.
We've been seeing how that afternoon panned out back in the first half of the season. And to be fair, Jabbo, the chances we created, a red card that probably a red card, but we haven't even seen the goal that was disallowed either, or from Kelman. But maybe the O's will be looking to, you know, put things right and get that win that they should have gotten back in the first round.
Because even watching the game back there, we did create some chances and we had some good spells as well. I mean, obviously, when you lose a play, you kind of just can knock the stuffing out you, and you can just retreat slightly. But I think we showed enough of a threat for them to be wary of us, and you know, picking up a good positive win at the weekend, feeling confident, good players finding their form again. I'm positive.
And a January signing from second place Stevenage as well. We've got Amu, who's come in, who featured in Stevenage's victory over Aston Villa in the FA Cup. They've added as well, so they might be gelling themselves, and he's a player that we might have to look out for tonight.
Yeah, I know from playing against him, he's quick, very quick.
Very quick.
So he's also a bit fragile. I know he gets a lot of muscle injuries, but you know, on his day he can pose a real threat with his pace. So yeah, you know, listen, Richie will be drumming it into the boys. We can't take this game lightly at all. You know, especially coming off the back of a 3-0. Like I said, they'll be. I'm sure they'll be desperate to try and put it right tonight in front of their own fans. And you know, like he said in his interview there, like where they are in the league is irrelevant. If we go there tonight without the right mindset and don't do the basics, you know, we can get turned over. I think that's the case against any team in the league. So, you know, it's just about going there, recognising you're away from home, being difficult to beat at first, you know what I mean? Making sure you're solid defensively, growing into the game, and then I'm sure that we've got that bit extra quality, do you know what I mean, and experience to see us over the line and pick up 3 points tonight.
Well, kickoff is moments away, so don't forget to pick up your match pass to watch along with us here on Orient Live. But first, let's remind ourselves of how the O's are lining up this evening, because that's what really matters. And in goal for Leyton Orient is number 22, Lawrence Vigouroux. Coming back into the side at right back is number 2, Tom James. Also coming into the side is number 8, Craig Clay. Starting out wide this evening is number 11, Theo Archibald. He was the magic man on Saturday, and hopefully he can be that man again. Is number 14, George Moncur. Another special player from Saturday, number 15, Idris El Mazouni. He'll be looking to stamp his place in this team, and wearing the armband in Darren Prattley's absence is number 19, Omar Beckles. Leading the line is number 23, Charlie Kelman. Starting at left back after another impressive performance there on Saturday is number 24, Jaden Sweeney. Continuing his run in the side as well as number 34, Kieran Sadlier. And another impressive performance from Saturday is number 43, Ed Turns. And on the bench for the O's, Shadrach OG, Adam Thompson, Ruel Sotiriou, Aaron Drynan, Jordan Lydon, Darren Prattley and Reece Byrne. Now, I was saying there that a lot of them had good performances on Saturday, and that confidence will have hopefully stuck around over the past few days and in training, and will transpire into this evening's game.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, when you're buzzing with confidence, you want to play as many games, you want them to come around quickly. And you know, those likes of Monks now after scoring, he's thinking, right, I can get back on the pitch again. I've got that mood. I can go and try and score again. So, and looking at the bench is looking strong. All of a sudden, you know, some good players are now back, and the competition is there. So it pushes everyone again. So it's positive. And
everyone's going to need to be pushed, because we talk about how the goals dried up a little bit. It was only the one on Saturday. Thankfully, that one was enough. But I'm sure, and you're sure that the attackers especially, and Richie, will be wanting to maybe get 2, 3, 4, 5, be greedy.
Yeah, definitely. Now, as a defender, you know, I know from experience, you're just looking at the strikers and the forward players. Saying, come on, you know, just take the pressure off us a little bit. You go get yourself 2, 3 goals. We know that, you know, our job's made a bit easier then. You know, we're not desperate to keep that clean sheet to win the game. As good as the defence has been, you know, like, I mean, the home record, not conceding at home for 9 games, consecutive games, is just like incredible. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, we can't just rely on Lawrence to keep clean sheets and the defence to you know, perform each week. We need, you know, we really need the forward players to contribute with goals and try and bring our tally up a bit.
What way do you think this one's going tonight then, Jabbo?
I think it'd be positive. And I hope it'd be an Orient win. I'm going for an Orient win today.
Confidence from Jabbo. And now, of course, it is time to hand over to our match commentary team of Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock.
Good evening and welcome to South Cheshire. Leyton Orient back at Gresty Road. Back in December, of course, Richie Wellens made 8 changes, and it was